This is the intro, and I'm your host, Gus Summers, and we are having a great conversation with Evie Ryland.
Hello.
So, we had talked a little bit about your love for art. So I know you're a painter and obviously a cartoonist and such. Talk a little bit about that. What are you doing right now in regards to your personal work? Some art that you have at home and such.
Well, right now, in between doing the cartoons, which I've always, just try to keep doing those. Every time I get an idea, just keep putting those down. I also have a children's book that I'm working on, which actually that one I've got all of the drawings are done for that, and the writing is just kind of putting that together, getting that ready for print.
Right. You had mentioned that in our first interview, the first time we talked, that you had the Sanganova, a children's book, and then you were going to have a classical art book that you were developing, right?
Well, it's a fine art book, which, I guess depending on your perspective of fine art, it's some of the drawings that I've done of this character. It's the same character in different scenarios, and she's since my cartoon book is called Sungan Nova, I've named her Bella Nova. So she's got the head of a girl and she's got the body of a cat. So she's always doing just different kind of scenes that she's set up in, depending on what strikes me as inspiration at the time. So I was just going to, compile all of those together. And I've got one of those pieces, actually, the Agiclée hanging in the Green Goddess in Venice Beach right now.
Actually. Oh,
showcase down there.
Oh, nice. So tell us a little more about the children's book. And is that going to be for release in 2011, or when is that projected?
Yeah, we've got that slated for a spring release, I think, for the children's book. Just a few fine touches, and then make sure that it's all ready to go. I really want to make sure that this one's perfected. I don't want any little things, because I don't know. I think, because it's for children, I think I want it to be exactly, because it could be something that, that someone may say, oh, this is my book, when you're a kid, and it's important to you, and I just want it to be like that.
Right. So what gave you that inspiration to, your next book to be a children's book?
I just had this idea about how kids are afraid of monsters, and so the story is really, kind of about that. And I have a niece who's, that was always her little thing was, she wanted to make sure there was no little monster under the bed and that sort of thing. So I thought, well, what if we make it that the monsters aren't bad, kind of. It's not totally a novel concept, but I think my perspective makes it so in the drawings, that are my style.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think all of us still turn on the hall light in the middle of the night as we
yeah, exactly.
as we wake up.
You hear that gust of wind outside. What was that?
That's right. And we go flip out, look outside. That's great. So what? So this is going to be slated for spring. Are you going to have an unveiling at a bookstore? You have a book signing for that as well?
Yeah, we're going to set up a little book signing, book tour kind of for that as well. I'm not sure, where or when that's going to start, but
in the planning. So we look forward to that.
Exactly. But it'll be available on Amazon in the spring. So Amazon.com, of course.
Hey, well, perfect. So, since we're talking about books, let's go backwards. Sanganova, that's that's the flavor of the moment.
Yeah.
So, tell us more about that. Let's talk about that a little more.
Well, Sanganova is it's available right now actually on Amazon.com as well. If you want to look it up, the ISBN number, I'll give you that, is
sure.
It's 1-449-558-925. Nice. And you can find that in maybe your local bookstore, depending on where you are. Definitely on Amazon and a few other places.
That's right. One other place I can tell you is the In-Show. You can go to your page and they can click on the little icon. It takes them right there.
Featured right there on the In-Show. I love that.
That's right.
It's great.
So tell us a little more about that. Now, I know we met at the book signing for Sun God Nova. And did you do, I thought you did a couple other book signings, or you did a little tour with that, am I right?
Yeah, I've been going to a couple of different places, bookstores, and that actually where we met was sort of the release party as well. I hadn't had one yet, so that was a big day of cake and festivities, and I think there was a lot of wine and punch involved in that as well.
Right, and I came as an intruder and
that was fun.
Party
I had so
break,
much fun.
crasher. Hi, can I interview you?
That was great. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, we even got it on film. Isn't that great? So it's met all your expectations, everything you had envisioned when you first were wanting to develop the concept for Sun God Nova?
Yeah, it's interesting because if somebody had said to me, you're going to have this book of cartoons, this collection of cartoons for sale, I would have said, yeah, right. But, I just thought, well, originally I was going to create the collection as just sort of a promotional piece. And it turned out, well, if I'm going to do that, we might as well sell it. Other people are interested in it. Why not make the collection available? And I had so many people asking for it, and it turns out it's such an interesting thing that to find the people that like it, the different, it kind of bridges that gap between, grandma and grandpa and, the video game generation. They can all kind of sit together in the same room and have a laugh, and I love that, and everybody has their favorites, and they find out the things that they have in common with each other and the things that they were thinking that they find written on a piece of paper in a comic. I love that.
The thoughts across their mind when they were sitting on the 405, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So I'm sure you probably had a huge amount of panels to choose from originally. What made you choose these? And in this particular order? Or was there an order at all?
Yeah, there is actually. And that changed quite a bit throughout the process, believe me. But really, I was trying to pick, my own personal favorites, ones that, everybody seemed to like the most, and some new ones that hadn't been in print in the newspaper yet. And then also I wanted to make them, kind of congruent in their coloring and their themes as well, not to be too, off the, just kind of flow together a little better.
Right. Sun God Nova, you would think it would be dark, but actually the cover is yellow and everything is really bright. And was it purposeful with the title and the coloring?
Yeah, actually. Well, Sun God Nova, the funny thing was how that name even came about was it was just a saying that I always liked. I don't know why. It would always just pop in my head. I thought, Sun God Nova, I like that. I'll have to use that for something one day. And when they asked me to do the cartoons, so what can I think of a name? And it took me forever to even realize I love that name. That's what I'm going to use. And so I picked that. And then the yellow, I went through a few different color schemes on the front, but I thought, what are the colors that represent happiness, and that's yellow. Is one of it's the sunshine, it's brightness, it's noticeable. So when you're walking by and you see just a brown book cover, you see a bright yellow book cover, which one do you want to look inside?
That's right, definitely the yellow one, except if you're the Green Lantern, then you shy away from yellow.
True. No Green Lanterns in there.
That's great. It was just a saying that you had heard and you thought, I gotta put that in use that somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. I had one like that. It was Stop, Look, and Listen, and it happened to be in an Elvis song. Isn't that wonderful?
That's great. I love it. It's perfect for radio show, right?
Yeah, exactly. It used to be Stop, Drop, and Roll, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
So now, tell us. At this point, I know you're doing your panels for the newspaper. Writing books, painting.
Yeah.
What's next? Is there just an adventure in life? You're going to backpack through Europe? I don't know. Are you going to go climb Everest?
I know. Yeah. Those are all things that they are, I guess, on the list of things to do. But more than anything, I love creating and inventing all different kinds of things, and that's the one thing I like about the cartoons is that a lot of these inventions, I don't have to sit there and actually create the product. I can just use them in a cartoon,
That's right. So, and especially now, there's such a flood of information, and you can just walk down the street and see so much out there and say, hey, that's a look at how they're dressed. That's a great cartoon right there.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many little things. Someone said, warm wishes for the holidays the other day, and the first thing that popped into my head was these little wishes walking around with scarves on. It's just.
Oh, that's funny.
And I don't know what I'll do with that. I could do something with that, but it's just something pops in your head like that out of the blue that may or may not make sense, but you just kind of actually think about it.
Right. Oh, there's so much out there, isn't there? We're starting to wind down. Why don't you give us some contact information? I know they can Google you and find you on Yahoo, but why don't you give us some more direct information how they can find your work?
Yeah, well, it's Evie Ryland. That's going to be available. It's on Amazon.com and
Sun Gone Nova.
Sun Gone Nova. That's the book available right now. It's a collection of cartoons for all ages, and that's the ISBN number is 1-449-558-925, and you can look that up anywhere, and it'll come up.
And they can find you on Facebook, of course, right?
Facebook at, Sun Gone Nova and RylandGallery.com.
All right. And, of course, they can visit the Inn Show and get that link and go right to you. Evie, thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it. We had a great time.
Thank you so much, Gus. I really enjoy being here.
And look forward to the upcoming books and all those upcoming events.
And hearing more from the Inn Show.
Hey, all right. Look at that. A plug for me. Thanks, Evie.
Thank you.
All right, this has been Gus Summers for the Inn Show, and we had a special guest, Evie Ryland. I'd like to thank her again, and be sure to visit us at theinshow.com, and be sure to visit Evie on Facebook, and send her all that great love, and share all that love with her, and tell all your friends. And we will catch you next time.